Caitlin Clark has always been a firecracker on the court, a star who doesn't just play basketball but redefines it with each game. The WNBA, in its push for relevance and visibility, has long admired college talents and future draft picks. Yet the recent posts sent ripples through social media, exposing an unexpected side of the league, one that seemed to hold disdain rather than admiration for one of the most promising young players to emerge in years. It was the kind of twist that makes you pause mid-scroll and wonder if you read that right. But before we proceed further, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Caitlin Clark is known for her intense gameplay, sharp shooting, and unfiltered confidence. She's the player you can't help but watch, even if you're rooting for the other team. From deep threes that seem impossible until they're splashing through the net to her fearless drives, she embodies the kind of grit and flair that has earned her comparisons to some of the NBA's greatest sharpshooters. Her play style is magnetic, drawing in both fervent fans and begrudging admirers. The WNBA, on the other hand, has always looked for fresh talent to energize its audience, bridging the gap between dedicated basketball enthusiasts and casual viewers. However, the league's recent post, which many viewed as a not-so-subtle jab at Clark, shocked everyone. It wasn't the kind of playful banter that sports fans often enjoy, but seemed layered with sarcasm that felt too pointed. The timing was off too, coming just after one of her standout performances that had sports analysts buzzing and Twitter debates blazing. The post felt more like a subtle slap than an acknowledgement, and that's where the real drama began. It's not that the WNBA shied away from bold marketing before, but this felt different, less promotional and more personal. To understand why this event resonated the way it did, it helps to look at who Caitlin Clark is, both on and off the court. She's not just a basketball prodigy, she's a personality. With her quick wit and fierce stares, Clark embodies the rebellious spirit that many young fans find refreshing. She's the player who, with a simple smirk after a jaw-dropping three-pointer, can electrify an arena. Her celebrations, the way she interacts with teammates, even her occasional eye roll when a play doesn't go her way, it all feeds into a narrative that's hard not to be drawn into. The WNBA has historically struggled with balancing its brand image. On one hand, it celebrates the unity and power of women's sports. On the other, it knows that drama sells, and showcasing rivalries or sparking conversations keeps eyes glued to the screens. However, in this instance, many fans felt that the league had crossed an unseen line. The post came across not as banter, but as veiled criticism. For a league that prides itself on supporting women in sports, this left a strange aftertaste. Reactions online were swift. Fans dissected the post, shared screenshots, and launched discussions in comment sections that ran the gamut from supportive to bewildered. Some thought the WNBA was trying to play the provocateur, stoking some rivalry before Clark even entered the league. Others saw it as jealousy, a move by an established organization feeling the heat of someone who commanded attention before even donning a professional jersey. And there, somewhere in the back of all this noise, was Clark, who didn't seem fazed. That's the thing about her. She knows she's good, and the doubt or disapproval of others barely seems to graze her. It's part of her charm and part of what makes her so divisive. The dynamics between college stars and the professional leagues they aspire to join have always been intricate. Usually there's an air of expectation and respect, a sort of passing of the torch. But Clark's rise has been different. Her highlight reels are the stuff of viral legend, circulating well beyond the usual sports circles. She's had moments that made even NBA analysts take notice. It's rare air, and the WNBA might have felt the need to remind everyone, including Clark, that they're still the big leagues. Yet the way they did it came off as more of a misstep than a clever nudge. Humor in sports is a tricky beast, especially when reputations are on the line. The WNBA's attempt to inject humor in this instance, if that's what it was, landed poorly. It was like watching someone trip during a victory lap. Unexpected and a little painful to witness. The post drew immediate comparisons to previous interactions the league had with other players. Why target Clark? Was it because she's young and outspoken, or was it simply a clumsy attempt to create buzz? Clark's own demeanor throughout this chapter stayed true to who she is. Unbothered by praise or critique, she continued to focus on her game. That resilience has become her signature. She's had her share of critics, those who question her sportsmanship or believe her confidence borders on arrogance. But she's also had some of the most ardent defenders in the sport, people who appreciate her unapologetic approach. The post by the WNBA didn't just fuel discussions about Clark's reputation. It put a spotlight on how women athletes are perceived when they dare to be bold. The league itself seemed to scramble to manage the fallout. Within hours, social media users noticed an edit to the post and subsequent statements that hinted at damage control. But the internet, as always, doesn't forget. Screenshots of the original post continued to circulate, attached to commentaries from basketball bloggers and casual fans alike. Discussions turned to the implications of the league's approach. Was it setting a precedent that strong-willed players would be met with shade? Or was this just a poorly executed attempt at humor that accidentally showcased some deeper biases? Clark's ability to rise above these moments is part of what sets her apart. On the court, she's laser-focused, slicing through defenses and letting her performance do the talking. Off the court, she's equally compelling, a mixture of poise and sass that resonates with younger audiences. She's the kind of athlete who makes young girls lace up their sneakers and practice deep threes on the driveway. But this clash with the WNBA pointed to a broader issue: how the league interacts with its future stars and how it wants them to behave. The tone of the WNBA's post didn't just invite comments, it demanded a response. Fans debated if this was a one-off misstep or a reflection of something more ingrained in how female athletes are treated when they don't fit a mold. The incident drew eyes to the league's marketing strategies and whether it sometimes forgot that its role is to elevate, not undermine. For Caitlin Clark, moments like this could have been a distraction, but she has shown time and again that she thrives when the stakes are high. The WNBA's attempt to poke at her, if anything, added fuel to the fire of anticipation for her inevitable entry into the league. There's a kind of irony in how, by trying to make a point, the league only succeeded in making her name trend even more. The anticipation of Clark stepping onto a WNBA court now carries an extra layer of drama. Every future interaction between her and the league will be watched with scrutinizing eyes. Will there be more barb exchanges? Will the league try to smooth things over, or will they lean into this newfound rivalry? The post didn't just ruffle feathers, it set the stage for what could be an interesting dynamic when Clark eventually transitions from college sensation to professional powerhouse. Clark, for her part, remains the same player fans have grown to love or begrudge. She's the sharpshooter with ice in her veins, ready to take the shot when others hesitate. Whether the WNBA's jab was intentional or a misguided marketing effort, she's unlikely to let it dictate her path. If anything, it adds another chapter to the narrative that she carries, the fierce competitor who doesn't need approval to know her worth. The spotlight now shines even brighter on Caitlin Clark. The WNBA's attempt at humor or criticism, whatever it was, only reinforced her status as a name that can't be ignored. The league, having shown its cards, will need to rethink how it engages with players like her. Clark's future in the WNBA is more than just a given, it's a story in the making. One that will be watched not just for her incredible plays, but for how she continues to challenge the norms that athletes, especially women, are often expected to conform to. Caitlin Clark is many things: a sharpshooter, a competitor, a star. But one thing she isn't is ordinary, and that's why this entire saga matters. The WNBA's post wasn't just a throwaway moment. It was a glimpse into how a league and its future star might spar before ever sharing a court. The true fallout from this event won't be seen until Clark puts on a professional jersey and walks onto the hardwood for the first time. But one thing is clear: if the WNBA thought they were simply teasing, they underestimated their audience and, most importantly, the player at the center of it all. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. We thrive on your feedback, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, keep discovering and stay tuned.